Welcome to this module on knife safety. You use a variety of knives while accomplishing daily tasks, and used correctly, they are an invaluable tool. However, the sharp blade of a knife is inherently dangerous. In this lesson, you will learn the knife basics and precautions you can take to prevent injury. A chef's knife is an extension of the most important of all culinary commodities, your hand. The knife is actually a machine, and when used properly, it is a wedge and lever. Used as a wedge, the knife can cut heavy or dense food items, such as squash. When the tip is held stationary, the heel serves as the resistance force. Mechanical advantage increases with the length of the blade. To use knives effectively, you must know the name and function of each part of the knife. The 7 parts of a knife are the tip, the spine, the bolster, the tang, the handle, the heel, and the cutting edge. Roll your mouse over the chef's knife to familiarize yourself with its anatomy. The tip of the knife is used for cutting small items such as shallots, onions, mushrooms, and leeks. The knife's back, or spine, should be smooth so it can be gripped between the thumb and forefinger for controlled cutting and chopping. This is the proper way to grip a knife. The bolster is between the blade and handle. The bolster and the full tang, metal extending into the handle, give the knife better balance. The tang is the metal that extends into the handle. In good knives, it extends all the way to the butt. It gives the knife durability, weight, and balance. Unless you're very unlucky, the part of a chef's knife you'll have the most contact with is the handle, so you'll want to make sure it's comfortable and fits your hand. It shouldn't feel slippery or cause you to have to grip excessively hard. The last few inches of the blade are known as the heel. It is used mostly for heavy cutting tasks or when maximum leverage is needed. It is most efficient for making quick, coarse cuts and for jobs which require strength or pressure. The best chef's knives are made of high-carbon stainless steel, which is a very hard metal that keeps its edge for a long time and won't discolor or rust like ordinary carbon steel. The most frequently used part of a chef's knife is the center or cutting edge. It serves well on firm or soft items with small chops and long strokes for tiny or large types of cut. You will use knives to prepare food, and knife safety is paramount to preventing injury. To mitigate danger, follow these general safety tips. 1. Choose the correct knife. 2. Keep the blade sharp. 3. Use care when cutting. 4. Wash and store knives safely. And 5. If you drop a knife, do not try to catch it. Use the right knife for the right job. Paring knives for paring, a chef's knife for chopping or mincing, a slicing knife for slicing, and so forth. Keep knives sharp. If the knife is sharp, it will slide easily through what you are cutting with little force involved. If the knife is dull, you have to force it, and if you slip even a little, there is real danger of cutting yourself. Slicing meat will dull a good knife's edge, but this does not mean the knife requires resharpening. A few light strokes on a butcher's steel will reset the edge and restore the knife's keenness. Eventually, a knife's keen edge will wear off, and it must be reground. Careful grinding with a quality hand or motor-driven grinding wheel may be employed. Do not overheat the blade, as excessive heat will draw the knife's temper, and the blade will no longer hold its edge. A wet grindstone is the best possible protection against overheating. A good lubricated stone can also be used when steeling fails to bring the edge back. Ask your supervisor or manager to train you before regrinding a knife. Kitchen knives demand constant inspection for efficient performance. A fine cutting edge made from the best steel and the finest manufacturer know-how will turn its edge if used on a hard surface. Never try to open a can or bottle with a knife or use a knife as a screwdriver. Do not use a knife to cut string, bones, metal, or paper. When you are working with a knife and you lay it down, do not lay it down with the blade pointing up. Place the knife away from the edge of the surface you are working on to prevent it falling and causing injury. Always be careful and attentive when using a knife.
Ow!
Cutting gloves reduce danger and prevent cuts. Wear a cutting glove on your non-cutting hand. Your work area will provide the size you need. When walking through a busy kitchen with a knife in your hand, always keep the blade pointed down and carry it close to your body, preferably with your arm pointed straight to the floor. You may be required to call "knife" when walking through the kitchen while holding a knife to alert other cooks to be aware. Your work area will instruct you on this. When using a knife, always cut with the blade of the knife angled away from you. Always be aware where the edge of the sharp blade is pointing in relation to you. If the knife slips a bit, you do not want to be cut. Never try to hold anything while you are cutting it. This is just an accident waiting to happen. Lay the item to be cut on a cutting board or proper cutting surface when chopping, slicing, or mincing. Never cut on metal, glass, or porcelain. Keep the cutting board in place by placing a damp towel underneath to keep it from moving around the countertop. Provide ample space for the task. Hand wash knives and dry them thoroughly. Never put knives into the dishwasher or drop them into a sink filled with sudsy water. Always hold a knife by its handle, never the blade. Do not leave sharp knives loose in a drawer. It can ruin the sharp edge and be dangerous if you reach into the drawer. Store knives in a rack or block to prevent direct contact with other knives or hard objects which dull the blade. Do not try and catch dropped knives. If you are working with or handling a knife and you drop it, step back and let it fall. Do not try to catch it. This sounds elementary, but you have an instinct to catch it, and that is dangerous.
Oops!
Time for the review quiz. Use the menu to review previous material or click Continue to begin the quiz.